right. Man, I was really hoping that we'd get all this crazy price action during our opening and not pre-market. Like, why do we got to get pre-market movement like this? Why can't we get this during the opening? We've had such horrible price action the last week and a half. Like these are just push down with clean two candle pullbacks. I mean, these are just nice little bull bear flat. Look at this, just nice little 5 minute bear flags for breakouts. Back into resistance. Those are my favorite type here, man. You break below a previous resistance, which is the previous day close. Uh, Not as quite as a good looking at the previous day high, but you did have a wick back into it, so I still like to take those. Um, you did have a nice bounce off the pivot this morning for almost a 50-point move to the upside. Then once we broke back below the pivot, that would have been another possible good short area that a lot of times we take those shorts around those pivots or longs around the pivots. To me, I feel like we're probably going to retest that midnight candle. I bring that up quite a bit where I say the market always retraces back to those midnight opening. So we did not get the retracement back to the midnight opening yesterday, but looks like we're going to get that this morning. And it's sitting right on top of the pivot, right there at the 800. So that could be a nice bounce spot this morning, at least for the first bounce. Then if it pushes through that, more likely we're going to the previous day low. And that's all the way down at 729. And that would even be another possible area of, retest, like a hit, push back up with a retest, then look for the long. Usually if I'm longing off pivots, I want to see it in a retest so I don't get faked out. So see how we had the first hit here? This one probably would have been a maybe eval worthy, but maybe not funded worthy. To me, I want to see a push up, pull back, find support, then go. Now, I would do that on a funded, but as you can see, that second through, it just pretty much lost it. So, like, let's just say right here, we push back up to 750, and that 750 holds, kind of making a little bear flag. Now, that's kind of a setup that I would like. If you're new here, all the square little boxes that you see are hourly time zones. I trade mainly off support and resistance off higher time frames. So these are 4 hour candles and these are all 1 hour candles here. So, and the gold lines that you see, these are my pivot levels. And the other individual levels that we have marked out are labeled. So the red is previous day high. It should be pretty easy to see it on the screen. This beige looking color is my previous day close. The purple one is my previous day open. And the green is my previous day low. Oh, and the orange / line is my midnight opening candle. Because we kind of use that for a direction of which way we could possibly go to and a possible bounce level, because a lot of times we bounce off that. And the reason why we usually bounce off that is because almost most of the nights at that midnight candle, we get a lot of resistance. See how the night before, look, this was all the resistance in that midnight candle. This is why I said that midnight candle and that pivot at the 800s down there could be a really nice bounce spot this morning. I don't know if you could see that on your vertical or not. So last night I had to kind of take a break from streaming. My voice had started just being super raspy just because we were streaming so much and talking so much. I mean, we were streaming anywhere from 6 to 7 hours a day if you count both sessions in the morning, because we would start at 8 and go till 11:30. Then at nighttime we would start at 7 or 7 o'clock my time and go till 10:30 at night. And so my voice was on a struggle bus yesterday, man. I could just feel it just struggling by the time I got to, 10:30, 11 o'clock for me. So today last night I took a little bit break to kind of drink a lot of honey coffee. And I've been drinking honey coffee this morning too. I like honey coffee, kind of like some people like to drink it in tea. I like to drink it in the honey. But I did see that really nice move we had up there. I swear I kept looking at the market up till like 7 o'clock, and I swear as soon as I stopped looking at it, man, it just popped last night like 100 points. Now, the London session, it seems like as soon as we got into the London session last night, it just went to straight chop zone. Let me squish that over for anybody that's on like TikTok in the vertical page. So this was pretty much your London session here. So you can see we pretty much just kind of chopped around. We did have PPBI numbers this morning. Unfortunately, this could be one of the days where you get that one good move in the morning and the rest of the morning is just going to be horrible because everybody's going to be waiting on the interest rate decisions, which I don't think they're going to change the interest rate decisions. But, most people never know what Powell is going to say. So a lot of times the markets are usually pretty flat. I hate that we traded back into this chop zone. I don't see how we move up this morning. So I almost feel like we could be trapped in a range this morning. This is what I feel like is going to happen. So if you look to the left here, we're back into the same chop area that we spent pretty much all the 16th on. Look at all this chop area. So now it's almost like, are we going to be trapped between this consolidation and this consolidation? So we might only have like maybe 100 and something point range today, and we'll just be kind of trapped in between that range. So it's almost like we would have to lose probably the 700s, 740s, lose this previous day low. Then I think that, and even below that, going into the 700s, there's quite a bit of a consolidation. Man, consolidation everywhere, guys. The last few weeks have been really tough. I did take a trade this morning pre-market for 10 micros on my trader launch account. That's account I got to start working on. I've been focusing on these Buleys and this elusive lately that I just haven't had enough opportunities for that many trades. We haven't taken a lot of funded trades recently either because I feel like the price action, Thursday was a loss. Friday was a winner. Monday was a loss. Tuesday was a no trade on those fundeds. And one funded was a break even. So that's kind of what we've been at on the fundeds lately. So I've been just having that mentality of just surviving, just getting through this week. What's up, 2-ton? How you doing today? We had some pretty crazy sell-off in the last couple of hours. I'm just. What sucks is if that's all the action that we're going to get this morning, and as soon as New York opens, we're just going to be going, oh my God, more chop. So just wait and see what happens. Yeah, I took 10 points out of it. I didn't expect that big of a sell-off this morning. So I took a long off the pivot this morning for 10 points. So was it this pivot? I'm trying to remember. It was this one here, I think. I remember getting long around the 25 or something like that. I don't remember where it was. I want to say it was here because I was up fairly early. So when it got back above that previous day high, we took a little 10-point trade back up to the pivot. I don't know. It was somewhere in here. I can't quite remember the level. Wait a minute. I got some music blasting my ear here. Well, I cannot listen to that for a whole minute. Then last night, we kind of, like I was telling the chat earlier, we kind of took a break. I see, John, those are higher time frames. So this allows me, because I like to trade the opening, John. So this allows me to strictly focus on one chart. So these are hourly time frames. So this is the last hour, and the box off to the far left. I don't know how you can see it. This is your 4-hour candle. So this allows me to see the higher time frames and where they're at if we're going to run into the higher time frames without looking at multiple charts. So what it is, it's called a opening box indicator. So, and I like to trade off the 15-minute candle, but I like taking my trade on the 5 minutes. So I mark out the 15-minute candle, but that way I can watch the 15-minute candle at the same time watching my 5-minute charts. This way I'm not looking at the 15-minute chart. I'm not looking at the hourly chart. I can just focus strictly on one chart. But that's just what, that's just what I do. Everybody does stuff a little different. That just helps me from looking at like 4 different charts at one time. Because when you're trading the opening, because I like to take trades in that first 15 minutes if I can, either after the first 5-minute candle most days. And so if you see the opening run a 4-hour candle, most of the time we're going back up 50% of that 4-hour candle. So it's usually, you can use that to your advantage when trading off higher time frames on those pullbacks. So that was a pretty big 1-hour candle. So that candle started at what? 114, 25,114, and went all the way down to 2876. So almost a 300-point move this morning, and all of it in that one last hour. I have this indicator for free that if you feel like it would help you out, if you like to watch higher time frames, and maybe you don't like watching higher time frames. Maybe you take your trade on the 1 minute and you like to watch the 5 minute or the 15 minute or the 30 minute or whatever. You can use this indicator to draw boxes around that time frame, and that way you can watch that time frame while at the same time watching whatever time frame you take your trades on. So I like taking the 15-minute breakouts in the morning. I like using that 15-minute candle from 9 o'clock to 9:15 some days, depending on the price action. And the gold lines, these are pivot lines. So I use Fibonacci pivots off of TradingView. So if you go to standard pivots and just change the setting over to Fibonacci. So what's up, Mr. Methodical Man? How are you doing this morning? Yeah, I have used that, but I'm limited on how many indicators I can have because I have the $15 TradingView indicator, and so I have other indicators that I use over that one. But I do have that one saved in my favorite where it does mark out the high time frames. I do like that indicator, but it's almost like whenever I only have a number of indicators that I'm allowed to use on TradingView, you're just limited to what you pick. So these are the ones that I use pretty regularly every day. I like using the pivots. I use the ICT kill zones markouts for the Asia, the New York, where it kind of marks out your previous areas of trade for the different time zones. And I use a super trend indicator. Kind of like gives you the trend. And it also kind of tells you like when the trend's about to break. And I try to just keep it simple. That way I don't have like a crap load of indicators and everything's kind of level based. Most of the time during the daytime, I hardly ever look at my TradingView charts because I just take my pivot levels off of this chart and put them on my Ninja chart. That way, if anybody else wants to use the pivots. Good morning, BB. How are you doing today? Let me go to my other chat over here. What's up, JT? How are you doing today? Trend magic. All right, let me put that in there real quick, so I don't forget about it. Good morning, Fish Lips. Let's see. You said trend magic. Let's see. Almost the same. Just looks like it follows it a lot closer. So this is Trend Magic, the one that I'm sorry, I forgot. ITS. Wait, no, it wasn't ITS. Who brought that? I'm sorry, my chat's kind of moving. Yeah, ITS. For anybody that wants to try a trend, just so you can follow the trend on TradingView. It's called Trend Magic. This is the one that he's talking about. I don't really know what the difference between that one and the super trend. So that one does look like it does follow it a lot closer, the trend, a lot more. It hugs it. I'm pretty sure it's probably what the settings, the lower, change the settings to 51 and 10. All right. It's 51 and 10. Okay. It looks nice. Yeah, we'll give that a whirl. We'll leave that on there. Thank you. I know. I saw that Fish Lips 300 point down. You kept shorting last night and they just kept dropping it. That's the worst, dude. You get caught in that 8 minutes till market opens. Okay. All right, so we're already kind of getting out of our 15-minute range this morning. I would like to see us retest this pivot, then push back down. You just had to keep DCAing out of it. I stayed away from last night's price action, dude. I had to take a break from streaming. You know, I put in the Discord that it was because of Chop. It was more or less because of my voice. The time that I got over to My Funded Futures yesterday, my voice was so hoarse. Like, it was crackling so bad. I was just struggling to talk yesterday. I was on the struggle bus. You know, that just talking nonstop for 6 or 7 hours a day when streaming, man, just takes a toll on your voice. So, good luck, everybody today. We got about 5 minutes before the market opens. I'm hoping that this isn't all the move we're going to get. It's going to be straight garbage chop. So I'm hoping that we would get some nice moves like this, because this is the type price action that I like. I love this type price action. This type of moves, I love pulling Fibonacci on candles or just legs. And man, this is my favorite type of price action, where you get these nice moves down with the 2 and 3 candle pullbacks on the 5 minutes into some kind of resistance. think we pulled down to the 25, or the 25,000. We pulled back into the 25,025 at the previous day close, had another big sell off. Then we pulled down to the 50, the pivot, then pulled back up into the 500. Like, we're just constantly pulling back into the, like, whole number support levels. I mean, man, this right here would have been your bread and butter on all the shorts, fish lips. Man. Now we're going to be stuck with garbage all morning. I'm in no position at the moment. I'm just sitting on the sidelines. I try not to trade pre-market, Charlie. I try to just kind of chill to the side. I try to wait till like that first, maybe after that 5-minute candle most days. That's kind of where I want to see if we can push maybe back above this pivot level here, where we just print above this pivot and create a little wick into that pivot. That's the kind of setup I would like to see on my funded trade this morning. So a push up above the pivot, another print, would it wig back downing, testing like maybe like the 40 or the 25 or something like that. Then the body closes, not the close, but the close of the bottom of the candle is sitting right above that pivot. That's what I like to see sometimes with these pivot closes, when they see the pivot close above those, or the candles close above those pivots. All right, we got 3 minutes left, guys. 3 minutes. The 50% of this last hourly candle was sitting up at the 25,000s. I'm pretty sure that's why Fishlets brought up the 25,000. That's also the 50% of your previously hourly candle. And that's also back up there around that previous day close. So, and that would also kind of have us retesting the bottom of this move here. I wouldn't even mind just seeing a push up into this pivot and us come roaring out of the bottom of this level here. But see, you can see that this is a new hourly candle and we wicked past the previously hourly candle. So I know on the 4-hour charts, I would be all in long, but I'm not really sure what's going to happen on the hourly chart. So this is why you can consider the 50% pullback. So that'd be like the 1-hour candle. This is the next 1-hour candle. It's pulling back at least 50 to 60%. So that's kind of how, you know, Fishlets was bringing up about pulling back to the 25,000. That would be the basics to that pullback. For anybody that likes to trade off Fibonacci, so that would be kind of like your Fibonacci term, pulling a fib on your previously hourly candle, looking for that golden pocket pullback is between that 50 and 70%. But this is rollover week, and this is Papa Pile Day. So protect your accounts. If we can get through the day, I feel like starting hopefully Thursday and Friday, the price action will start getting cleaner. Hopefully more like this in the mornings instead of just chopping around, because we could be stuck in between the choppiness. So look at all this choppiness that we're going to probably run back into, that we're just going to get the brakes put on up here at the 25,000s. And then we would be selling probably back down to this chop. So this could be our range this morning, where we're just stuck in between this chop and stuck between this chop. So be careful with your trades if you're taking trades closer to the 25,000 this morning. You got about 100 points. No, you got about 70 points. All right, here we go, guys. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Me, I'm probably not going to take that long into the 25,000. I feel like that's just asking to get wrecked. Now, eval on the other hand, maybe, but not my fundeds. Twelve seconds. 12 seconds. Good luck, everybody today. Or this morning, at least. All right, seconds. Still very. There's your spike up to the pivot, and this what it's kind of like this little breaker block here. Yeah, breaker block. That breaker block, order block, order block. So that is a order block sitting there. You're on a sell. Nice, ITS. Good luck on your sell, man. Good morning, David. I prefer the downs, honestly, ITS. I'm shooting to the downside myself. That's what I want to see. Open short on the 1 hour. Nice. I'm going to try to wait till the second 5-minute candle. I don't really want to jump in on this first 5-minute candle. I'm going to wait till all the orders and all the buyers and sellers get their positions worked out. Then hopefully I can hop in on that second 5-minute candle. So we're just going to wait and see what happens with this first 5-minute candle. I like the fact that this pivot held. This order block held. So you have an order block / pivot there. Didn't quite get the 50% of the hourly candle, but two kind of resistant levels there. So now we're just kind of fighting the 24,900s. So remember, guys, I don't usually take trades into whole numbers like that. This is why I said I probably won't take the long, because I don't like longing into major resistant whole numbers like the 25,000. I would need to get basically the only way I would consider a long up here if we got above 25,000 and kind of got back above the 25 level. For long or for shorts, I'd like to see us get back below this previously hourly candle here, back below the 24,860s or the previous day low sitting at 876. Now I think that's the 4 hour, the end of the day close. I don't think that's the close of the 4 o'clock. I think that's the more or less, I think around the 5 o'clock close. So I know everybody uses a little bit different ones. So far, guys, very mild opening. This is what, dude, I mean, it's like the market just pounded the shorts when we got up this, right, 2 hours ago. Now we're just like crappy price action. So I'm hoping it gets a little better, man. These last couple days have been super tough. If you were able to survive the last couple days without really blowing up anything, it has been a good week, because that's been my goal all week. Like I said, we have FOMC, PPI numbers. We have rollover week. There's a lot going on this week. If you haven't been doing this for a while, it's almost a week not to trade, because I remember when I first started trading, I traded these weeks, man, I got destroyed. I think I've lost like every single account trading rollover week and that stuff in the past. So there was a good while until I just got more experience that I wouldn't even trade rollover week, at least not on a funded, because you just get wrecked. Because what it is, you don't get that good follow through, because, a lot of people are still split between the March and June contracts. We are on June contracts, but there's still probably a lot of people on March contracts. No, come on. Why we got to start out like this? So, ITS, what is your stop loss if you're looking for a short? What kind of stop loss do you have? Oh yeah, definitely. I wish I'd have found that out sooner in my early days because I've gotten wrecked TD on rollover week, man. I didn't know that. Like I said, I've never heard nobody really talk about it. I try to talk about my experiences and share it with everybody. That way, if you're new to trading, that way it's like, oh, that guy said don't trade on a rollover week, get wrecked. What's up, Dan? You got a $500 stop loss? Let's see. I got stopped last night at 210. That was high. So you were in a short last night, Nix? Man, this grindy price action has been crappy. We may even go down to looking for 10 points in a runner because I've been looking for 15 points in runners, but man, it's been a struggle without sitting through just choppy price action to even get 15 points lately. So we just don't have the volume that we need to get those like really good clean pushes where you're not sitting here through a lot of choppy mess. But not much. I had my super trend hit last night, Nix. That one super trend indicator that I've told you about. That thing hit perfectly last night at the 25,000s. That's where that was sitting last night. Like I said, I'm not going to take a trade into the 25,000s, guys. What's that pattern? Let's see. After some minutes, it goes up, then makes a bearish SEM, then bro, then it the market it will just take a short. Yeah, this follow through stuff, man, is just tough. Like it's I swear the last few days to me have felt like I'm trading the Asia market in the New York session because in the New York session, usually you get those quick 15, 10 points, like just super quick. Today, it's like you just can't go to break even. So if you try to go to break even too quick, you're just going to get stopped out because we're just going up, down, up, down, up, down. And that's almost what it feels like during the Asia market. You can never go to break even fast in the Asia market. Dude, I can't believe we had all this crazy movement pre-market and now we're just like dead. Yeah, we had some nice entries this morning, Nick, off some good levels. Like we had some nice entries off the previous day high, nice entries off the previous day close. You had another retest of your pivot up here at 140. So had some nice entries, but unfortunately it happened pre-market and I did take one trade on one of my evals that I'd been trading. I haven't really been trading it on stream. It's what Trader launched because it's on Quantower. I want to see this thing come up there, hit the, do the 50% pullback like we were talking about pre-market, then come back through this pivot here and head back to the downside. Because right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green candles. So there's got to be a pullback coming. Oh my goodness. Let's mark out the 50%. That 50% that we kind of talked about pre-market. That's your hourly pre 50% there at the 24,995s. If you look closely on these boxes, I have the 50% marked out in the middle there. So it marks out the 50% for us. So that's what those tinier gold lines are. They're 50% markouts. Let's see. You said audio for the Hunter. Uh-oh. Sorry about that, D-Foods. All right, so hopefully right here where we can start getting some pullback. Pull back below the pivot and just start selling here. We still haven't yet to break this order block. How heavy did you go in on your trade, ITS? What's up, Luciv? It says I entered on the open, then left. Might come back because you're on the live stream. Well, I think you at least have the 25,000s. I would at least try to take profit before the 90 and 25,000s in case we pull back from there. That would be kind of a line in the sand for me, for the bears to hold on. If the bears are going to hold on, they really don't need to lose the 25,000s. That would definitely be a key level. And if you look to the left, there's a lot of consolidation here sitting at the 25,000s. So that is a level that the bears, if you're looking for shorts, got to hold. You don't really want to get back through all that consolidation. I mean, that was pretty obvious that was going to happen. If you look to the left, we're about to break back down below that pivot. A lot of times if we lose that pivot, I want to see what happens. I wouldn't mind seeing a 25 hit, then kind of push back. We got about 1 minute left on this candle. $52 seconds left. All right, we're about to hit the 25. You want to see some kind of little pullback. Yeah, I'm looking for shorts, especially under the 25,000s. I don't like the wick on this candle here. I don't like when we have big wicks like that. That one's kind of iffy. See, your body closed back above that pivot, guys. That's kind of makes that kind of scary. The bears just couldn't pull it. Yeah, 15 minutes until the new candle. Yeah, we have FOMC news today with Papa Powell. Right now, we're just kind of stuck at one of our pivots at the 50 range with a pretty much a open end 5-minute candle here. So I think whoever wins this side of the candle is probably the way we're going to go. So I'm hoping that the bears can win it and get back below the 25s here. Because what did they hit? The 25? Yeah, they hit the 25 on the tick there. They're just major resistance support levels that are marked out throughout the day. I use the pivot ones. I mean, the Fibonacci pivots. Back to the 25K. We're being super patient today, guys. I'm not going to be in a big hurry to take my entry just because, like I said, this is usually a very tough week to trade. So it's just best to be patient. I mean, you know, it could even be an okay day if you don't find you a funded trade. I'm even okay with that today. Did you buy the... No, I haven't bought or sell anything this morning, GW. So we've been just kind of sitting on the sidelines. We're just kind of... I prefer the shorts. I did not want to trade up into that 25,000. We would need to print above 25,000 or even get back above the previous day close for me to consider a long. So I'm just not going to try to take an entry, even if we pop above this 25K, because I feel like I'll just get trapped. And even though that was the second push, I just feel like we need to get back above the 27. If you look to the left, there is a lot of a consolidation here between the 25 and the 50. So it would be very, very tough to long into that area. So this is why I kind of like the shorts. If I had to pick a direction, I'd rather have a short. Usually by now we're able to get like our nice little winning trade on the rip, but this week I'm just being super cautious. Just trying to get through rollover week, get through the FOMC meeting today. Then hopefully Thursday and Friday will give us a little bit more cleaner price action, kind of like what we saw here. This is some nice clean price action, but the last couple of days we have not gotten clean price action. The last couple of days, if you were a range trader, that has been your bread and butter if you're a range trader. goodness. I know you got a nice little 5-minute flag looking like setup right here. Nice big 5 minute bear flag setting up. Look, you got so maybe that's what is going to be the play this morning. And since it's so choppy today, we're just mainly going to be looking for 10 points and runners. Losing the pivots. Woo! I don't want to jump in too early because last time we would have got wrecked if you jumped in this early without waiting for a print. You need to see a candle print. You need to see a candle maybe break this trend line and break the pivot here. You're looking for the 9 o'clock reversal. Where do you live in California, elusive? Or not California or somewhere on the west. If it's 7 a.m. I guess you'd be looking for the 10 o'clock. So 10 o'clock. Yeah, so it'd be the 10 o'clock candle. 9 o'clock candle for me because I'm in Central Time Zone. This is why we're not taking that break of the pivot, guys. So far, we're still having a hard time pushing down. This is why we're just mainly looking for our 10 points this morning. So, and we'll probably have to make most of our money off the runner. Oh, most of our trades, guys, we usually just risk like 20 points. So we don't risk a lot. So if we take our loss, we take our loss and put the account away for the day. Powell's trying to get all the money back that people made probably in the last few weeks. Chop people up. No good follow through. So just pretty normal for FOMC day. This isn't anything new unless you're new to trading and you're like, what is going on with the market? This is typical FOMC type trading day where you're getting choppy mess. You're not getting follow through on the candles or no kind of expansion. It's just duds. A lot of chopping back and forth. No clean like candles where they're just moving. So pretty typical. All right, at least we're getting somewhat of a better looking candle. I just wish this candle would have broke this here. want to see that pivot hold up at the 50. Dude. I mean, the pivot's holding. Now, I'm just going to have my line pretty much right back at that pivot, guys. This thing still could come back. We haven't got the follow through. I'm just looking for 25 for my first target. Then after that, whatever happens, happens. And this is just 3 micros. So I usually just do 3 micros on my funded accounts. And I take 20-point stop loss. Well, I'm at a little bit over the 20. So I'll probably lose 130 if I get stopped out. This is what I mean by FOMC style meeting, guys. I mean, 10 points should be nothing to get. 10 points should be like instant. And this is just what it's been like the last few days. Dude, come on. So far, guys, we just cannot push through that 50% mark of this hourly candle down at the... And I'm just looking for the 25s. Most time we'll get a whole number. So this is why I chose like right below the 40. Because I would thought, well, maybe we'll at least get the 25. Then I can anticipate a bounce with the runner. Like I said, this has been every trade this week, man. Just like no movement. Every entry this week we have gotten, like as soon as we enter, the market just puts on the brakes. All right, looks like we're about to get, if it breaks this pivot, it's going to stop us out. Yep, we just broke our pivot. Son of a bee. Come on, pivot. Nah, we're about to get stopped out for back-to-back losses. Son of a bee. All right, I have to log off my fundeds. Let's see. So that was for 140. Now that we're going to eval, we're probably going to hit the banger trade. That's how it usually goes sometimes. Come on. But I do use tight stop losses, guys. Sorry about that. So we lost 147 on that one because we only used 3 micros. Not even 10 measly points. Oh, nice, elusive. Heck yeah. Hmm. Yeah, we're still going to probably trade on our evals. We tried our one funded trade, and what sucks is probably going to work out. But like I said, I have a very minimum loss that we usually stick to a very strict stop loss on our accounts. So about that 100 to 120 to $40 range is the most that I'm willing to lose per day on those accounts, because there's really no reason to lose more than that on a 25K. That's about 10% of the account. And that's what we look for in our trades every day is 10%. So for the first several months that I had this account, we didn't take one loss. My first loss on that account was last Thursday after making like $1,800. And now I've had 3 losses on that account since Thursday. And that just kind of tells you where we're at with our price action. So you just kind of have to survive these bad spells is what I just try to tell myself, so I don't end up blowing my funded account. Because then you'll go on another streak where you won't take a loss, say for 2 or 3 weeks. At least not on fundeds. Evals, yes. I do trade my evals more aggressively. We can look at also the whatchamacallit. Man, even those charts look like straight butt. I still like to move to the downside. But I would have had to send through like 50 points to draw down, and that was way too much to draw down. So, like I said, we hit our target, but like I said, I just can't withstand sitting through that much drawdown with my accounts. Oh, there she goes. Man, just entered. Nice, elusive. Yeah, the shorts are definitely, to me, I feel like the play. You just don't know what type of price action you're going to get off of the short. Like it's the follow through. That's what I've been talking about. Like the no good follow through. Ooh. Now, do you go when you entered that long or that short? Did you do you go in heavy or are you in small, elusive? I still like the shorts, even though we're just kind of basing around here. I still like the shorts. Okay, that's not bad. You're entering something similar like to what I do. I do most of my entries are like 3 micros. Vertical. Are you talking about? Are you mean the vertical screen there, Village? Villain? I can't. I'm sorry. I'm trying to look around my camera. See my name. No, what it is, I have two different streams open. So one's a horizontal and one's a vertical. So that way, if you're on a PC, you can. Nice, Dan. We're starting off red today with our funded, so I'm thinking about just switching over to my Bewley. I'm gonna ended up taking a Bewley eval trade, and also probably, hopefully, maybe a elusive trade. Sorry. Yeah, Jay Gillen, it's been a very Gilbert. It has been a very tough week, man. This week and last week. I think hopefully next week we'll get back to a little bit to normal. This is definitely a week not to over leverage. Thank you for the follow. The end of the London session got all the good movement, and we're getting garbage. Let's see. I think I forgot to put it on methodical this morning. It's almost like, who's going to win the idiot box? Yeah, Bryson. He is so serious. I know, man. The pre-market got all the movement this morning, man. Now we're just stuck with straight butt. Dude, I couldn't even get 10 points. I mean, that's how much of a struggle we are. Just, oh no. Oh, dang it. Sorry about that. I hate that on YouTube, man. Come on. I mean, TikTok. Oh, come on. Man, TikTok, if you don't pay attention to TikTok, man, they will end your live in a heartbeat. And I don't look at the live page. Sorry about that. If I'm not looking at the TikTok live page, they put that little thing up there saying that your stream will end if you don't drag that over. Yeah, climbing, it's because TikTok will end my stream if I don't drag that little puzzle over. If I'm not paying attention, I try to look over there, and I can't see the message that they send because it's at the top of the chat. And you get like 4 or 5 minutes to drag that puzzle over it. If you don't, they just shut your stream down. And I'm guessing they do that to maybe keep people from just leaving up live streams all day. I'm not really sure. But it is what it is, I guess. You know, nothing we can do about it. I know it's always been there. I usually catch it most of the time, or I try to look over at it for whenever that puzzle pops up. It's okay, man. Nothing happened from the 10 seconds that we were gone. We're still just chopping in this idiot box. We are definitely in survival mode when it comes to our accounts, guys. Just try to survive without getting chopped up. If you're going to take trades, try to stay small. Try not to over leverage, because this type price action is super hard to get that back once you take that big loss. So either that, or you need to be strict. If you take your loss, just don't trade your account again. So that's what I've been really strict about. If I take a loss, with one trade and done on funded accounts. And if the price action is super crappy, we will just switch over to an eval. Fish lips, you got to be killing the 25 to 50 at the moment. This thing is just going 25 to 50, 25 to 75, 25 to 50, like just over and over right now. Yeah, all these little fake consolidation breakouts have been getting me. You're at 108. Not. Oh, wait, that's methodical. I'm looked at the wrong chat. I need to turn that off. I'm looking over here at Methodical Man's chat. Remember, guys, we all take losses. It's okay to take a loss. You just don't want to be a devastating loss. Because that's something I used to be real bad about, over leveraging and, you know, losing 25% of my account. Then you try to get it back. That's usually where I used to get myself in trouble a lot, whenever I would trade, like, you know, a mini or multiple minis or something like that. Wow, we got what? What time is it? Man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 5-minute candles so far. Is there anybody still holding a short here? You're out. Is this finally going to be the breakdown? Holy crap. We're switching over to an eval. All right. You want to... We can kind of wait and see what happens with this next 5-minute candle, so you don't jump in too early. I wouldn't mind seeing a pullback to like the 13 level here if this prints. Have a pullback to the 13. We're about 20 seconds away from a new 5-minute candle. Like I said, to the 13 level is where you want to see this pullback. See how we just wicked into that 13? You want to see that kind of hold. Or even if we lose the 13, it's going to probably go back to the 25s. You need to see this hold, this 13 level. I'm going to try to drop my order right below the 900 on an eval. Ooh, you don't want to lose the 25s. Wow, this thing just... This is eval only here, guys. No funded account. Just trying to be right below the 800 or 900. So I want to see this Rico candle print. So this is kind of what we're doing this off of. Not necessarily the charts that you're watching, but off of my Rico candles. So we pull back into the 25, pull back into the 9. We just want to make sure we don't get tagged in early. If this next candle can print, we should get a push, at least to the 75s. About to have a new 5-minute candle. Eval only, guys. Oh, we can't even get 10 points. Come on. Explode. Look at that crap, man. I don't really want this back above the 910s. Because if it gets back above 910s, it's probably going to pull back up. I'm not really sure about that one, S1000. Boy, FOMC day is not letting us down, guys. I'm not going to lie. FOMC is battling all the way today. I will sit through more drawdown in my evals. Dude, I was about to say. Holy goodness. It was just a battle just to get 10 points, guys. Douche. Come on. Someone give it a push. So this is what I was talking about earlier about your 10 points. Days like this, man, you just got to take your 10 points and see what happens with the runners. We just don't get that good follow through. And a lot of times if I don't take my 10 points, man, we end up just getting stopped out for nothing. So oh, come on. It's probably going to work out because we're in an eval. That's the way it usually goes. Usually it just don't work out if you're in a funded. We're going to be targeting that next pivot down at 800. So we're going to be in this one for a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe not. The waterfall is happening pretty soon here. Dude, this thing was butter on the Rico candles. Dude, I think this thing's got more because this thing's got 3 minutes left on this 5-minute candle. Still got 2.5 minutes left on this. The pullback that we could possibly get would be back up to the 40. That'd be your first pullback above the 40. You're looking at a 60 pullback. I don't want to target quite those 800s because I anticipate a bounce most of the time off the 10 or the 8 here. It came within like a tick, guys. All right, there we go. All right, nice move down. Unfortunately, it had to happen on eval. We didn't get the funded love this morning. Come on. Why can't we get some funded love? It's always the freaking eval that gets the love, man. I swear. I swear. It never fails. All right, we got that. If we get through the 800, I may even try another short. If we can print underneath the 800s and underneath this midnight candle from yesterday, you got the previous day low down at 729. All right, so we're going to be 1 for 1. Red on the funded, green on the eval. We're going to look for another trade on our elusive eval. Man, I don't see how we don't get that bounce off the 800s down here. I want to see an 800 hit, guys. Remember I said that we could possibly, above 29, that's your 9 EMA on your Rico candles. If we lose the 29, you're looking for a pushback up to 850. If you're still holding shorts, so just be aware of that, depending on if you're looking for pullbacks. So you want to see 850s hold if that's where we're going to pull back to. Oh, man. So far, 1 for 1 this morning. Let me change this real quick. I'm going to look for elusive trade if we can find one. Dude, why couldn't that sell-off happen when I first entered this morning? Why has it got to wait? Got to wait. Come on. Didn't quite get up there to the 850s, but that 850s is kind of, I want to say your line in the sand, but if you lose the 850s, you're probably going all the way back up to 800 or 900s. Remember my name, the SPY will drop to $90 to $100. Biggest crash ever is coming. All right, we are back at that 21 EMA, guys. There's that 50 level that we were, if we lost the 30s, you're probably going back to the 50s. This is kind of where you want to see the market to kind of start coming back down if you're still looking for shorts. So I feel like we had a really, really good target, guys. So that's pretty normal. Whenever you get a big sell-off like that, most of the time when on that first push, you do not hit the 800s. So if you want to be safer when you're taking those big, all right, there's the push all the way back up basically to 80, or, you know, if we lose the 55s. So we're at the previous day open. Kind of want to see this area hold. I don't even, man. That's also a retest of this 15 minutes also. So that's where you want to see us kind of push back down off this 15 minutes here. You don't, you know, you want to push back down off of this 15-minute candle. Come on, back to the basement. Mm, 50 may be my line in the sand. I don't think I want it back. If I see it kind of getting back above 50, we'll close this. This way we can protect our profits. We're back to be retest the 50 here. So like I said, back above 50, I'll close my trade. Just so you know what I'm looking at, this is what I'm watching here. I'm not really trading off of these 5-minute charts at the moment. So usually whenever the market's super choppy, I'll switch over to my Rico candles. That way kind of keeps me out of the choppy candles. And so, like I said, I will close this back above 50. So that's 60 bucks. So we're risking 60 bucks here. It's giving me multiple opportunities to get out of this thing. Just so you know, I got my hand on the with the mouse on the close button back above 50. Okay. All right, we got 1 micro left. Let me look for a target real quick. The safer target's probably back up here above our 15-minute candle. So 50 is my line in the sand, technically. So if you lose the 50, I wouldn't hold this trade. There's your 50. So we're about to squeeze. We're just in this for 1 micro, guys, if you're just getting here. We're still retesting those 50s, guys. Remember, once we start losing those 50s into the 60s, I wouldn't hold it. Big inside bar candle here, guys. Big inside bar. Woo, this price action is just not letting up today. So our EMAs right now that we are kind of following is sitting at the 43 and the 49. So like I said, you still want to stay below the 50 to stay in this trade. Well, for myself to stay in this trade, I don't need to lose the 50s. If I feel like we're losing the 50s, we'll just either close it or we'll just let it stop us out up there at the 60s on our last micro runner. Sometimes whenever you see like a little wick below this previous candle like this, we end up moving back up. Dude, this price action right here is what chops you up, guys. So this is very normal FOMC type price action. If you're going to trade, please try not to over leverage. Just take little base hits. We're only 5-minute time frame, but I'm taking my trades off the Rico candles. So this is why 50 is my line in the sand here. If we lose 50, I'm just going to close my trade. We hit our 10 points first max. Excuse me. And this is my runner that's left over. So we're trying to see if we can get the bigger move to the downside with the runner. So we're taking our trades off Rico candles. I usually do this if we become choppy. This way it kind of lets me kind of block out all the messy stick candles. And so it's easier for me to trade trend in Rico candles. So we could bounce off the 25 here. So I keep hearing Methodical Man says that the ES is stuck at a resistance level at 27. So that's kind of where the ES is kind of holding us down or up. That's why we're just kind of chopping around at the moment because of the ES. So the ES either needs to reclaim the 27 is what Methodical Man is saying, or I guess maybe it'll lose it. Remember, if we start pushing back up above those 50s, it's probably going to be a end of the trade. So that's still my line in the sand, the 50s. So once we lose that 21 EMA on my Rico candles, we're probably going at least back up there to the 70s, 75s. And we don't have to just wait to re-enter. So if we lose this 47, this is where I said that our next level of interest is going to be back up at the 70s. Now, if this next Rico candle can push down and print, this thing should go to the basement. But it would have to push down and print. But if it prints above the blue, this this next candle, we're probably going to the upside. You said you got the NAS moved to the upside using the hourly this morning. Nice. Dude, the market's being dirty today, guys. This thing's just, it's trapping people on both sides, not getting follow throughs. It's just like taking it to you today, man. Today is the day to leave your fundeds to the side. I tried one funded trade today. That was basically my 1L this morning. So we had to turn that baby off. So eval is probably the rest of the day. Save your accounts. We'll get better price action probably Thursday, Friday, or next Monday. So boy, the Bulls and Bears are just battling it out right now. Now, this trade would suck if you were in over leverage, but being in one micro, there's no stress here, guys. So there's no stress when you're in a micro in the negative. Now, if you're in like a couple minis, you know, that's where the stress is turned on. You got to turn on the stress. What's up, Hammer? Or Hampton? Mm-mm-mm-mm. Another bounce back to the 25. I feel like the safe target, if you're looking for entry to the downside, is going to be your 800 to 790. I heard Methodical Man said that. Jeremy, did I answer your question? I'm sorry, 5 minutes. Sometimes I get unfocused with my chat, man. No disrespect to anybody if I don't see a chat message in time. I have like 3 different chats that I look at, and sometimes. No, Hampton, we're trading MNQ. A lot of back and forth right now, guys. A lot of back and forth. Big 10, 20-point swings. Come on. I hear Methodical Man's over there in it long. He must have longed the ES. He should be good to long. We just got to get back above the 50s. Back above the 50s, we should squeeze. I wouldn't be in it for long unless we got back above the 15 minutes. We would have to get back above this level for myself to consider long. $20.65, it would be their next level up, back above the 50s levels. That would be your 50 EMA sitting up there at 65. Look at this straight across consolidation, guys. Straight across consolidation. User probably as many people as you can. Just watch as many different. If you're looking to just learn from somebody on YouTube, I mean, there's free information everywhere. I don't really recommend buying information. There's a lot of people out there that's charging for, Discords and signal services. I would definitely try to learn yourself before you went that route. There's too much free information out there. You just got to find something that you feel comfortable trading. I would recommend using prop firms and sim accounts if you're just starting out. I don't recommend also using your real money. Usually, most of the time, if you do that, you're just going to lose your real money depending on how much you put in. And you usually got to at least put in $500 to $1,000 just to trade some micros. So I wouldn't do that. If anything, go with like a prop firm, play a flat fee, and then that way you at least get a sim account to trade on. Because some prop firms offer like a one-time fee depending on which ones you go with. So if we lose the 50 level, like I said, we're probably going to move back up to the 65. If I wanted to keep my entry safe, it would have to be at the 65 here, guys. But I'm not going to risk anymore. We'll just take our stop loss here if we get stopped out on the runner. And everything that you do when it comes to it just comes with time, man. It just takes time. It's no overnight thing. You're going to spend a couple years of just ups and downs. My audio's low. I got it turned up pretty high. I'm listening to my stream on the side. Maybe it's because I'm talking away from the microphone. It is. I have the microphone away from my mouth first. That's what it is. I'm not talking directly in. Yeah, I'm just not talking directly into it. So what it is, I have my camera in front of my screen here, and a lot of times you'll see me like look to the left because one of my chat that you're in, I constantly have to lean my head a little bit to see the see the chat. No fish lips. The evil FOMC price action, guys. These days where you get the big moves out of nowhere. Either you're in the big move or you're in chop. So that is our two price actions that we're stuck with. So it's either we're chopping back and forth Or you get the big freaking red rocket boner candle to the downside. So 65 should be the next level up. It wants the runner. All right, the runner just got stopped out. You got to get back above this 15-minute range, which is the bottom of that golden box there. That's our 15-minute candle. Here. So that was just pretty much a break-even trade. We risked our profits for the bigger move. All right, this is kind of your bull bear line here at that 15 minutes. You know, you kind of, if the bears are going to stay in control, they need to hold this level here. That would be like the bottom of the 1 hour candle or 4 hour candle. So this is the bottom of your 4 hour candle here at the 60s. This is why I like having these little boxes on here. You kind of see where your higher time frame candles are. So this is a hourly candle, and this is the low of your 4 hour candle here at 860. No, I still work. Most of my money just comes from different places. You know, I make some trading. I make some off the affiliates. I just now start hopefully making like maybe $100 a month off YouTube. Probably not a lot, but I also work. I also have like a rental. I also have rental property. Then we also have a hair salon in the next town over. So just money from different places. Not particular to one place. So having rental properties pretty much allows me to almost live like rent free because one house is paid off and the other house has a mortgage. So I use the rental to pay for the mortgage. And so it allows me to own multiple houses without having a rent. Besides insurance and taxes, that's the only thing I mainly cover on my house is insurance and taxes. So we did lose. It took a while to get there. I planned it out, you know, when I started doing it. It took like a year or two of like, you know, buying it, then remodeling the place because it was a fixer upper type house where we gutted the whole inside and put everything new back in it. I think it took me and my wife like almost a year to do it because we did a lot of it ourselves. Then we had just basic contractors for like electrical and gas and stuff like that. Ooh, look at this thing go. If we can get some kind of pullback, maybe. All of our EMAs are crossing over, but I'm not sure. I think it's going to be a struggle for us to get through the 25s here because I mean that's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 candles. So you would have to use to get through there. It'll take a lot for us to get through the 25. So look for a rejection off of the 925s. iCash, are you in the wrong giveaway solo? I think that might be a Methodical Man's solo. Or exclamation cash. It looks like he's about to do another giveaway, like, but you have to be there to enter. Okay, he made an exclamation Coke can. Oh, goodness. Wow, this thing's just, look at this thing, just kind of going to wreck people on both sides. Remember, it'll probably, I don't know, I can see it coming back to 75 and going back up. And that's also back to the bottom of the low of that 5-minute hourly candle. Then back to above the previous day open there at 76. I almost want to risk 10 points here and see if we're going to push back up here. And I would use the previous day open as kind of my, whatchamacallit. Man, this is going to be a nasty looking candle. We're about to have a new 5-minute candle here. Ten seconds. 10 seconds. What's up, Larry? Nice, man. Dude, like literally just 10 points. And what I do, hit like 9 3/4 or something? Come on. Dude, there's nothing worse whenever I miss my freaking target by like a tick. If I'm going to miss it, I'd rather just miss it. We don't want to miss it by like a tick. We're just going to target the 25. It's probably got more than that, but I'm just going to take profit this time. Last time we did not. All right, so on that trade, we had this big ugly candle. I was watching the 4-hour low here. So the 4-hour low was not low 4-hour, but the previous 4-hour low candle was holding. And I didn't want to take it any higher than that because I didn't want to fight all these candles up here. So we're just going to look for just a strict 25 points. So we at least able to pick up almost right at $100 on that trade on our 25K. Yes, Nick. I'm sorry I didn't see your message. I gotta move this chat, man. My chat is sitting right behind my camera. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's the MNQ, not the NQ. We're trading on small accounts. So we lost our elusive funded about 2 weeks ago, and so we're working on a new elusive funded account. And so we just try to make 100 to 150 a day on those elusive accounts. So we need roughly $500 more to get our elusive funded back. And we're trading on the 5 minutes on NinjaTrader. Good target, guys. We ran into all that resistance up there. That is the time frame, what we're trading, and the charts we're using. So 5 minutes NinjaTrader on MNQ. We could still move higher. We just got to get through all this consolidation here from this morning. So it's probably going to take us a little bit to get through the 60s here. And the Ricos would have paid too, guys. Look, pull back into the 50 EMA. Previous day open. Once we kind of get a print here, then you just kind of look for your target. See how the trend's already green. So I use these Rico candles for trend bias and the EMAs and a cloud. So, and off support resistance. So anytime we got super choppy price action, you'll see me take a lot of my entries off Rico candles. No can myth, no can. Hopefully everybody was able to at least find at least 1 or 2 good wins today. Unfortunately, guys, we did take a loss on the very first trade this morning. But we only lost 140, so it wasn't like a devastating loss. Remember I said that we only take one trade. I'm almost debating on waiting to take my funded trades because I always get my better trades most of the time after the like 10 o'clock hour. But it just seems like those early morning ones, I like the super fast ones, but lately the price action has not just been very friendly. We lost on a funded account. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say PA. I mean say funded. I don't know why I said PA. That's price action. I'm going to say funded. We lost on the fundeds due to the price action. There you go. There you go, Solo. correct up the English a little bit. All right, guys, we're going to be calling in the next 3 minutes. I have to get my stuff ready to go stream with the Methodical Man. For anybody that wants to join us this morning on My Funded Futures, so we're going to be at, let's see here. Let me log back. I have to log off my Bewley's because for some reason, whenever I'm logged into my Bewley accounts, my elusive lags a little bit because it's a Trade Evade account. All right, so that was the one red loss that we took today, the 147. That one bigger trade we took was for 250, and that elusive trade that we took 2 elusive trades. We risked the whole profit on that that one I got stopped on a while ago. That was pretty much a break-even trade. So that's kind of where we're at today on the accounts. And we did take a trader launch trade on our Quant Hour charts pre-market, but I haven't really been trading those that much because the market has just been so iffy that it's so hard to constantly find good trades throughout the day. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. And we will see you guys this evening or over there on My Funded Futures if you want to join us.